Going inside Memorial Sports, this is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the High School Fan Zone on a Monday night. As promised, we're going to switch gears here a little bit and talk about volleyball instead of football. Before we jump in, though, reminder that Monday nights are Estacado, Memorial, and Liberty in that order from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tuesdays are Monterey and Coronado from 6 to 7 p.m. Wednesdays are Lubbock High, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper in that order from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I'm going to introduce them and let the girls introduce themselves so you can recognize them by voice if you're listening on radio. To my far left is everybody at Memorial is a first-year coach, but first-year coach Whitney Gibson. Girls, you go ahead and jump in there and introduce yourself. Remember, you can use your outside voice. He'll adjust it.
Hi, I'm Angie Lee.
Hi, I'm Mercedes Rodriguez.
Yeah, people will be able to hear you guys. Sometimes with boys, we have to nudge them a little bit. But I'm a two-time girl dad, so y'all did good. So I'm glad you guys are here for a couple reasons. I've been wanting to have you in. I think Jason Richards was getting tired of talking to me because their games count. Don't get me wrong, but you guys' games carry a little bit more weight, especially now, Whitney, because you jumped into district last week.
Yes.
Angie and I were talking before you got here. You got to take on number one right out of the chute.
That's right.
And then came back. You lost to Liberty, but you came back and won the second match on the road on a Saturday, which to me is a pretty important step for your girls.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's always hard to start the district off with the team you know is going to be the best and the most competitive, which granted, even though we lost that game, I mean, the girls did everything I could have asked of them, and they competed and they worked hard. And I mean, to go 25-15, 25-12 with the number one team in the state with babies, with my freshmen and sophomores, like to me that's huge. And so there's as a coach, you don't like losing, but there's some losses you can handle, and so I was proud of that. And then our biggest thing was just being able to move forward and to know that, okay, great, that one's over and done with, and now it's time to move on to the next. And they did really well. We started slow every set in Snyder, but I think these girls just like a good comeback story. I think is what I've decided based on our previous games. And so they came in and they took care of business, and it was a good win for us. It's always hard to go on the road, and Snyder's a hard gym to play in. As someone who's been in that district, I don't know what it is about that gym, but it's a hard gym to play in.
Let's talk about Liberty just a minute, and we'll switch gears. Like Coach said, you guys, you saw the schedule. You know how good they are. Angie, when you got out there, because there was a pretty good sized crowd, right?
Yes, we had a great crowd.
Biggest crowd so far? Or was it the first home match?
Yeah, I would say that was probably our biggest crowd overall.
So, Angie, you had all those people there, a lot of energy, a great team across the net. What did you think you guys did well that night?
I think we did a really good job of just keeping a positive mindset. We easily could have gotten down, we could have been beaten 25-3 if we really wanted to, but I think even after, it was a hard loss, but we still played really well.
What about you, Mercedes? What did you take away from that night?
I think it really showed how our mindsets have developed. We really came together as a team, and we just fixed our mistakes, and we just moved on from them as quickly as possible and on to the next big thing, next big play.
So when I talked to Bailey and Mackenzie before, they both made a good point. If you guys can look at Liberty in that, they were in your shoes literally 2 years ago. They were freshmen and sophomores. They were kind of learning what to do. Is it encouraging to you that you guys played hard against a team that you look at in a year or two, you could be in those same shoes?
Yeah, I think it's a very big deal for us, especially because they have size. They're a pretty good, decent team, and they have great fundamentals. I think we have fundamentals as well, and they're getting stronger with Gibson, and she's very on point with us, and she's fixing the small things, and I think that comes a long way in those big games.
And we're going to talk about some things when we come to the second segment about the difference between being a high school player and being a freshman or an eighth grader. There's a little bit of difference. So you go down to Snyder. What time do you have to leave? What time do you have to get on the bus?
Well, unfortunately, my math was still driving from Levelland, so we left at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Probably could have left 30 minutes later because it was a little closer driving from Lubbock, but we left at 8 o'clock, so it wasn't too terribly early, but I mean, you didn't get to sleep in either.
Your girls playing a lot of tournaments, so early Saturday mornings are not a complete shock to the system. But Angie, when you guys had lost that first match, Coach said it took a little while to get the engine going against Snyder. Was that part of it, kind of still thinking about the other one, or just Snyder came out and played well?
I think a part of it was that we have a really difficult time starting off strong, and I feel like it's because we're not all there when like this early in the morning. And I think it's just we need to be able to lock in faster and be able to play at our full potential.
So I'm married to a kindergarten teacher who's the noisiest person ever when she gets up and gets ready in the morning, so I'm up. My daughter's a high school senior, and I bet she hits her snooze button 5 times. So I totally understand it. And I don't know that she gets up early on Saturday. She may just say forget it and stay in bed. So once you got going against Snyder, what clicked down there, Mercedes?
I think when we started playing, it just automatically like put a snap to us. Like we played really well against Liberty, and we took that energy and that motivation to play hard like we did against Liberty. I know like we played Snyder, and we took them as an opponent just as big as Liberty was.
You're 17-7, 1-1 in district. You're off tomorrow.
Yep. Get a little break.
And then you guys maybe aren't as invested as Coach might be, but next Saturday you play Levelland, and she knows a little bit about those players and that program, so I bet that Coach is going to have a little bit of emotion and energy. So yes. We'll talk more about what's coming up for the Panthers when we come back after this break on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
This is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the High School Fan Zone. We're in the Panther Fan Zone, and I'm trying to remember, I don't think they've determined that yet. The Memorial games will be on radio starting next year. I don't know if they're going to do any volleyball or basketball games, but I believe Raymar will be the home for Memorial games in the future, which you guys are going to start getting a lot of attention. So we're going to talk about the differences between being 8th graders and 9th graders in a lot of ways, but I want to go back to the Liberty, not the match itself, but when you guys walked out on the gym floor and you saw all those people, and how cool was that, Mercedes, that just to see the environment, and did that kind of hit you that, man, I'm in high school now?
I think seeing everybody there, it was very motivating. Like having kids that I grew up with supporting me and supporting my teammates against like a big team like that, it really motivated us, and it gave us like a sense of like, we got this, they're here to support us, and just like a big crowd makes the game a lot more special.
Because your parents are always there. You know they're going to be there, but to see all those other faces. So, Angie, be truthful here. The first time you played it, now I guess you started this season in Friona?
Yes, we were on the road first.
So did they do national anthem and lineups and all that?
They did the national anthem, yes. I don't remember if they did lineups or not.
And what about your first home match?
On the first home match, we did national anthems and everything. They only announced the starting 6 at that point, so that kind of threw the girls off a little bit. That's
why I wanted to get Angie to be truthful here. Were there some nerves, both at Friona and then your first home match, when you realized that we don't just go out there and play, we have to kind of do some different things before the match here?
Honestly, I was a little nervous just for like this big of a crowd. I don't think I've ever played in this many people watching me, but it was mostly just motivating because you know they're going to be there for your wins or losses.
Yep.
So
I think your football guys are about to get a taste of that, because I think they go play at Littlefield varsity on a Friday night, so they'll kind of understand where you're coming from. What I keep alluding to here, and Coach and I have talked about this, when you're in 8th and 9th grade, you don't have to look at video and game plan. You just put your uniform on, make sure your hair looks nice, and you show up and play. How different has it been with a coach who's very experienced and is very good at what she does, having to watch video and game plan and kind of think about that and process all that? How difficult has that learning curve been for you?
For me, I didn't find it as difficult, but I found it more as like motivating, because you can see that they really care about how you play, and I've like watching film, I feel more ready for whatever I'm gonna go into.
Which, Mercedes, I think eye-opening is a way to say it. Is it eye-opening in a good way to know that these coaches can show us different things that are going to help us? We don't have to just be physically better than them.
Yes, I think it's very eye-opening, especially the way Coach Gibson puts it. She knows where to be and when to be, and she knows exactly where we need to be on defense, what spots are open, and I think that helps us a lot because we're just freshmen and sophomore. We just want to swing away, and I think that Coach Gibson really just holds us down. Not holds us down, but keeps us accountable.
Remember, we talked about not getting me in trouble.
Oh, sorry. She keeps us accountable of our shots, and she just knows exactly where to place the ball.
When you first started, because talking to Caitlin when she got to Liberty, she'd been an assistant for a lot of high-level coaches. Mm-hmm. She just assumed that girls would know we can do this. There was a learning curve when being a head coach. When you came over, did you have to adjust the way you got them ready, or did you just throw them into the water and say, let's go?
I guess a little bit of both, just because I kind of had a different experience with my first job, and I went from teaching fifth graders to being a head coach. Yep. So, I had a very big jump, and I wasn't really an assistant before that. So I had to kind of learn on the fly as well, and I feel like my coaching style has changed a lot over the last few years. I joke with the girls all the time that they get my more calm era than my first couple of years did. But I have to remind myself constantly that I can still hold these girls to the same expectations as my previous teams, but I also have to remember that they may need a little bit more grace because they are young. And it's one of the things we kind of talked about at the very beginning of the season is that we are young, and I'm going to give them grace for that, but it's also not going to be an excuse. Right. We're not going to let that be something that we use to justify a loss. If we lose, I want it to be because we got outplayed and we just got outworked. I want it to be because of that, not because, oh, well, we're young and they're, and I want to push these girls just the same. So I have had to adjust, I would say maybe some of my intensity a little bit for them. But I think for the most part, they're getting the same coaching style I brought the last 4 years in Levelland.
So I'll make you guys the same deal I made with the Liberty kids from the website perspective. I'll refer to you being freshmen and sophomores and being young this year. Next year, I won't even mention it. We'll just talk about you just being good players. So got one more segment in the Panther Fan Zone coming up. We'll be back after this break in the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Going inside Memorial Sports, this is the Panther Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. We got one more segment of the Panther Fan Zone, and Mercedes over here breaking news for us. Angie, you've only played, this is just your second year playing volleyball or third?
This will be my third.
Okay. So you had to learn and adjust and figure things out, and you've done that because you're a key player. Both of these girls are a key player for you. How did you kind of make that happen?
So I really began to get interested in volleyball pre-ath 6th grade year. So then once I showed interest in it, me and my dad, we'd go to this park, it just had a volleyball net, I don't know. And we would just practice every day whenever he had the time and I had the time. We'd work on just fundamentals, trying to serve it over the net and kind of control my passing a little bit better.
That's a good dad.
Mm-hmm. And then just over time, we'd do that every year until I think 2 years ago, I finally started doing club. And I think that really helped me improve because I was more consistent with everything passing, serving, and hitting.
So, Whitney, did you know this?
No, I had no idea. And I would have
learned?
never guessed. Angie seems honestly like a natural. And I think, obviously she is a natural if she just started 3 years ago and she's now, a varsity starter here. But I kind of heard about her work ethic back in the summer. I heard she does push-ups and pull-ups every day. I don't know if that's true. Yes. And it was very evident that she was a hard worker. So, that doesn't shock me at all to know that she just decided she wanted it and went out and got it. The girls were joking today because we'll play 6-on-6 in the last few minutes. I'll let them go wherever they want to go. And she was in the back row. And she was just passing everything, getting everything up. And so the girls were joking that we just need to keep her in all the way around. So
that's sometimes how coaches find different things for different people to do. So Mercedes, you said you actually saw Angie a few years ago and I'm not going to say what you said. But knowing that she's worked that hard and she's gotten to where she's at, how much does that motivate you to know this? One of your teammates has made that leap.
I'm actually very proud of Angie. It takes a while to get certain skills down, especially for me. It took me a while to get down setting, like a while. And Angie's just a natural. Like, they'll have certain skills that we do, and she's just most beautiful hands I've ever seen. And it's actually crazy because she's improved a lot, and it's really fun watching her play and make these amazing digs. Even when we're just scrimmaging in practice, it's really fun watching Angie play.
So I'll pull the curtain back. I saw you guys pretty early, and you were struggling a little bit with communication. I know was a big thing. Balls would just drop between, and I'd look over, and Coach would kind of just take a deep breath. That calmer, milder coach.
Yep.
And that sometimes takes some getting used to. Where's that process? Where are you at in that process now, Angie? Do you guys is there a little bit more chemistry, a little bit more communication now?
Yes, I think over the season we've learned to just trust each other more. And like, we still have some issues communicating, but I think now we just know that someone will be there.
Liberty coaches just walked by, and I'm sure they had some growing pains then, but now you watch a team when they've played together. You guys have a chance to play together now I say this to, I said I wouldn't mention young after this year, but you're going to be seniors basically for 3 years.
Yeah.
I know you're excited about that, Whitney, to see that kind of that evolution. Where's that at? Like I said, those first few were a little rough, but where are your girls now in terms of just the basic stuff like that?
I think the little things we've definitely cleaned up a lot since those first few games and tournaments. And I think it makes me excited because if we can show that much growth on something so important like communication and just teamwork together, that gives me hope that for the little things, like, it's going to be so much easier to show that growth over the next 3 years. And I mean, these girls work so hard. I don't have to ask them to work hard at all. They just show up and they, most days they want to learn and they want to soak in what I'm telling them and really try to apply that. And so I think as long as that stays their mentality for the next 3 years, like, we're going to maybe we'll be number one in the state by the end of the day,
So because my daughter's a teenager, my rule is I don't talk too far about the future. We're not talking about graduation for a while. You guys are still very young. Do you think about the chance to keep getting better, or are you just kind of focused on now?
I'm more focused on the now, because if I think too far up, I think I'll get stuck in the past, so I won't improve like in the present.
What about you, Mercedes?
I'm like here and there. I think like building on what we have accomplished so far means a lot to us as a team, especially because we're a brand new team and we've just constantly been working. And I also think like the years that we have to come, it's going to get a lot better.
Just do this for your parents. Don't go too fast. Just take it really slow. Just go really slow. That's going to wrap us up in the Panther Fan Zone. We'll be back after this break in the Patriot Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.